You are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. So listen responsibly.
Louisville's own DJ Ice. DJ Ice. You are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price. It's the best of the best. It's the one and only DJ Ice, Louisville's coldest DJ.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. So listen responsibly.
Hey, good afternoon or good evening. Welcome to Conscious Fever here on Ice Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio. I am Carl Price, your host. I hope you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me out there? Good. This is a Conscious Fever show tonight. I want to say thank you guys for joining me tonight. We're going to try to have a decent time tonight. I'm your host. I'm Carl Price, live from Louisville, Kentucky. Icy Louisville, Kentucky. Very, very snowy Louisville, Kentucky. So I hope you're staying warm out there, and I hope I was about to say something I probably shouldn't have said, but in any case, thanks for joining me tonight. We've got a good show tonight. We've got our people back tonight. I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get John in. But in any case, listen. We've got these. We got our people. Yes, we hear you. Thank you, Cheryl. Hi, Teresa Johnson, Alvin Brown. Thanks for joining us tonight. Listen, we've got a good show tonight. We're gonna talk about two things tonight. We're gonna talk about something very interesting before I get sand thrown in my face from picking the Kansas City Chiefs last week. Maybe they'll throw sand in my face, maybe they won't. But anyway, my guest tonight, once again, is Greg Freeman. I think I can do this on this chair. I'm going to come over this way a little bit. My guest tonight is Greg Freeman from Knoxville, Tennessee. And, of course, our very own boy from New York City. Y'all know the song, right? Yeah. He's going to join us tonight. And I'm sure the crowd is going to be very happy about having Greg and John come back and throw salt in my face. Okay, yep. Y'all don't have to rub it in. Y'all don't have to rub it in at all. But listen, but that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're gonna have some fun tonight. I may need my glasses tonight, so I brought them. They're a little bit different glasses because I think they're going to try to. Call me out tonight, y'all. So we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to bring them in here in just a second. But listen, there is an interesting story that is floating around now. And some say that it is a story that we probably should have been talking about some time ago. And that story is the national anthem. Okay, you all may have seen this. You may not have seen this, but this is Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban issued the following statement after his pushback. After he got pushback from the NBA, he says, "We respect and always have respected the passion people have for the anthem and our country, but we also loudly hear the voices of those who feel that the anthem does not represent them. We feel that their voices need to be respected and heard because they have not been. Going forward, our hope is that people will take the same passion they have for this issue and apply the same amount of energy to listen to those who feel differently from them. Only then we can move forward and have courageous conversations that move this country forward and find what unites us." Okay, so that's Mark Cuban. We're talking about, y'all, a billionaire who has taken the stand that maybe there's something about this national anthem that's not quite right. Now, I would tell y'all, if y'all haven't done the research, that generally, I see you, Tam. I'm gonna start putting these remarks up since y'all are going to talk about them, and I'm going to bring them down. And I at some point I'm going to change it. Anyway, Cheryl, yes, we hear you. Thank you, Cheryl, for letting me know that. And of course, Kansas City, we have to support our own. Gotcha. Okay. But listen, let me give you some background on the national anthem. A lot of you all probably didn't know this, so I'm going to tell you tonight. And my guests are going to, and my guests and you, we're going to talk about it tonight. In fact, at some point, we're going to be able to allow you to send us your email. And when you send us your email, we're going to be able to bring you in as a remote guest. Stay tuned for that. But listen, a lot of y'all may not know about the anthem. For a long time, every Kentucky Derby, we would hear my old Kentucky home. And most people would remember just a few phrases from that, like, "Weep no more, my lady, weep no more." Well, just like the old Kentucky home, the national anthem has gone through its phases and changes and modifications. But many of y'all may not know that the national anthem is actually about 4 big paragraphs long. And what has been a central focus of discussion with that national anthem since Congress made it official and called it the Star-Spangled Banner back in 1931. And I think there was another modification in 1942, but nobody really talks about that paragraph that talks about that slaves could go to their graves. Apparently, the national and the author of the national anthem, the background, if you didn't know, was basically he was a white nationalist. He was against immigration. He thought that everybody needed to stay under control, and when you came to America, then you had to be Americanized. Some people call that whitewash. It's kind of like the discussion. We don't, immigrants, we're not going to offer you your language in our grade schools. We're only going to, offer English and make you teach, your English. Anyway, that's some of the background. But so when you hear a lot of patriots that talk about the national anthem, a lot of people associated with military service and a lot of other stuff. But there are a lot of people in this country also associated with that dark past of America. So we're going to spend some time talking about this tonight, and I hope you can join us. So I am going to I'm going to play with these comments here. Specifically, Alvin, I'm glad you brought that up because actually, darkies are gay. Now, let's keep that in context. I want to make sure that we keep that in context. That is a phrase, by the way. Let me put that back up there. That is a phrase, by the way, for everybody who don't know it. That is the darkies. Yeah, Wayne, you and Alvin hit the nail on the head because my old Kentucky home, that was the language in that was one of the stanzas, I guess you would call it, in the My Kentucky Home song, right? And it didn't mean that slaves were gay as we know gay today. What it meant was that we're keeping the darkies happy, or we're keeping the slaves happy. And of course, my old Kentucky home doesn't have that language anymore. But that is exactly what we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And my old Kentucky home, darkies are gay. Absolutely. Yeah, I know that, Alvin. Alvin's going to keep us on our toes tonight, guest. I see my guest in the green room. He's going to keep us on our toes. But listen, I'm going to start us off with a little humor tonight. Before we dive into that, I'm going to bring my guests in, and then I'm going to ask you guys to continue to talk to us and talk to our guests about this topic. Is Mark Cuban on point when he talks about the fact that maybe we should have this discussion about whether we should continue to play the national anthem or whether we should modify the national anthem in this country? And I want to tell y'all the backstory of that also. Actually a reporter leaked that before the Dallas Mavericks home games that the Mavericks were not playing the national anthem, right? It was kind of petty because ain't nobody at the damn home games. So that was the reason really that they were not playing. It had nothing, but Mark Cuban took the opportunity to actually have the discussion about it. So we're going to talk about it too. But before we get too far in talking about it, and again, I'm going to see how I can navigate what it is I'm doing here before I get to go too far. But I'm going to bring my guest in. But before I bring my guest in, I want y'all to take a look at something. All right, just a little humor. If you're anywhere in the United States, except for probably Miami or the tip of Florida or Hawaii, okay? But if you're in the mainland, it's cold as hell. I'm sure y'all are cold in Knoxville. I'm sure y'all are cold in New York. But anyway, so I'm just going to, while y'all are at home, snug, I just want y'all to just have a little humor. One thing you never want to do, right? We all have always said this. When the news media is around, keep your uncles away from the camera because they may say something. They just may say something that they're not supposed to say. Remember the guy in Cleveland?
Bro, I knew something was wrong when a little pretty white girl ran into a black man's arms. Something is wrong here. Dead giveaway. Bro,
y'all remember that? Yeah. So okay, so here's a situation. Listen, man, never let your uncles, never, ever, 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 ever let your uncles talk to the media. And right after y'all listen to your uncle talk to the media and make an ass out of himself, we're going to come back with our guests. We're going to talk about the national anthem, Mark Cuban, and we're going to talk about my poor performance in my Super Bowl pick. We'll be right back. But check this out.
You are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price.
Yeah, and see, that's what the problem was. Because I heard him first. I said, hold on. I said...
You are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price.
Right, say and spell your first and last name, please.
You let me know when you're ready now.
Yeah, we're ready. Yeah, say and spell your first and last name, please.
What you want me to start off?
Say and spell your first and last name, please.
What?
Say and spell your first and last name.
Okay. They call me Can-Man.
Okay.
All right.
What's your real name?
Ozell Gary.
Okay, will you spell your first real name?
Huh?
Spell your first last name.
You can't read? My name Ozell Gary.
Okay, well, I need to know how to spell it.
Well, I just letting you know. I'm down here from Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
I born and raised here.
Okay.
I lived here 33 years. I thought things might would change, but I see it ain't changing no more.
Can I get you to spell your name for me, please?
O-Z-E-W-A, I just told you.
And we are...
How about that, John? I'm hoping that we got you today.
You got me.
Yeah. Greg Freeman. Can y'all hear me okay? I need to come over here. Okay. Okay. How y'all doing tonight?
Pretty good.
That's
Probably
good.
better than you.
Yeah. We've got ice here. Really, really bad. Ice really, really bad here. And a lot of other stuff. I am what y'all think about your uncle? No comment?
No.
Why not? Talk to me, y'all. I'm just curious.
Nothing to say about that.
There you go, Greg. I had your volume down. Go ahead, Greg. What'd you say?
I said everybody has an uncle like that.
Greg, you got a friend speaking to you, buddy.
Who?
You see that guy there? You know that guy?
Well, I know he's a winner.
He is a winner.
Hey, Price, since John and I picked the winning Super
Hold
Bowl.
on. That's way too early. Let's talk about Mark Cuban and the national anthem so we can engage our crowd. Tammy says the video speaks for itself. Yeah, Tammy, you never let your uncle. There's always one uncle that slips away when the media comes and they get there and they start to talk. And there's a nephew too. We're going to show y'all that in just a second. But yeah, you never let him do that. But in any case, let's talk about Mark Cuban. Talk to me about Mark Cuban, the national anthem. And John, I'm going to start with you because you are the you've worked in the sports arena. Worked with the NBA. First of all, let me just ask the question: should we be talking about utilizing or de-utilizing the national anthem as a mandatory tool or part of the patriotic part of America to play before NBA basketball games?
Well, I'll start off by saying that it's a policy for all of the leagues to have their team play the anthem before the game, right?
Right.
But it started, you gave a little history about it, but this actually started during World War II when baseball was like the only thing that people could hold on to, right?
Right.
So they wanted to keep playing it to give the country that feeling of patriotism and togetherness, right? So it seemed to do its job, and it just kept going, and so now everybody plays it, and it's a policy. I don't find it necessary, but it seemed to do it. There's some people who don't stand during the anthem at games, baseball games, basketball games. People are talking through it. I think it's a controversy, and sometimes things have to change. And this may be the time to change that.
Oh, really? Well, what do you say to the veterans, John? Let me go to Greg. Greg, what do you think?
I agree with John.
You always agree with John, man.
He's a winner.
Smart man.
I don't think it was a big issue. I think the times we're living in, if you're ever going to look at changing something like that, this is the time. I don't pay attention to it anyway, to be honest with you. The only time I really paid attention to it was Marvin Gaye sung it, NBA All-Star Game, Whitney Houston, and Shaka Khan when she murdered it. But I think this is the time that we're looking at a whole plethora of things that can be changed in society.
That's interesting. And when you say just a whole plethora of things, I guess I'm a little bit curious as to Well, anyway, I don't want to get into that discussion, but are we talking just the NBA, or is this an American issue that we need to that really needs to be looked at? You know, sort of like what they did with the Kentucky Derby. They still use "My Kentucky Home," but they have modified the wording, and there's been some modification of the wording, or just an outright no use of some of the stanzas, and I think that's the right musical term, with the national anthem. But should we? I mean, when we revert back to Kaepernick, does this bring Kaepernick's argument now into focus?
Well, to tap on to what Greg said, if you look at it, if you listen to the song, this quote-unquote national anthem is a war song, and it really does justice to add recognition and beautify the country. If anything, it should be America the Beautiful should be the national anthem. I think there's nothing in the context of that song that, talks about war and the glorification of it. And I don't, as I said before, I don't see the need for this to be played before every single sporting event. Now,
Yeah, John, your sound is breaking up, but keep talking. That's better.
Okay, I haven't done anything.
I mean, I got to do something until we get to these Super Bowl picks.
Yeah, okay, you can pick at me. That's fine. But the war song itself is I think inappropriate now. It was one of those things that if you want to go on a racial line, the white America thought was something that they needed to feel better because the war was going overseas. And right now it's not necessary. And Greg, the version of the national anthem was great. It was tugging at the heart because it was the first major event for football after 9/11. It was in February of 2002. So.
Right. So, and I think you bring up an interesting point, John, because I can tell you personally, I have always just gotten goosebumps when I've heard the national anthem. I mean, and sometimes it really didn't matter who was singing. Well, I mean, except when Roseanne sung it, I didn't care too much for that. Y'all remember that at the baseball game?
Yeah.
Shaka Khan didn't do it any justice either. Now.
Yeah, but
Lewis.
Who?
Carl Lewis.
I remember that. I remember Carl Lewis. But I used to always get goose.
Nets game, Greg?
You said what?
I was at a Nets game, I thought.
Yeah.
Who told Carl Lewis that he could sing?
Same person
Carl
that told
Lewis.
Roseanne she could.
Here's something for us to this is a black issue. We have been encouraged to accept doctrine through songs and anthems to persuade us to accept racist American symbols. Is he right or wrong, guys?
Yeah, I mean, to a degree, yeah.
Expand on that, John. I know you kind of stay away from those topics sometimes. What do you mean? I mean, it sounds like what Alvin is saying is that there's a lot of things that as African Americans, we were forced. It was just kind of forced down our throats. And even today, we just continue to perpetuate that. You know, back in the 30s, we really didn't have a lot of power to stop Congress from making this song the Star Spangled Banner. Today, you know, for instance, in the NBA, I guess if all the players came out from the Dallas Mavericks one game and said, you know, stop playing that song or we're not playing, they're probably, I mean, you know, they'll give some due consideration as to stop playing the song, right?
Well, Cuban, he spoke to the community, and he felt that through conversation with them that it did not represent the majority of the people that were following the team and watching the game. And so he listened to And as you said, there's nobody in the arena anyway. Preseason game, they didn't play. But
Well,
the policy with the NBA, and it has been since it started, and Silver sent him a note regarding to start playing again. Now, Cuban said he was not ever going to play it again right now until they can work some things out.
yeah, well, you know, the NBA came out and said, you know, you can't do that. Now, I don't know if the NBA is really saying we're flexing our muscles and you can't do that, because I don't think the NBA really has that authority. Maybe you can tell us, John, do they?
Well, as I said, it's a policy. I don't know if there's anything in the collective bargaining agreement that says it's mandatory that the players respect and listen to the national anthem. And if you think about it, it goes back to I forget the young man's name that came out of LSU, and he did not respect the anthem, and they said it was okay for him to stay in the locker room after a whole lot of pushback. So it's been something that's been bothering people for a long time.
Well, the Black National Anthem. Do you think it's appropriate for the NBA to switch up sometimes, play the Star Spangled Banner one game, then play the Black National Anthem another game, or would that invite all national anthems to be played? So in other words, you have a Yugoslavian that's playing for Dallas or playing for Miami. Do we play that one also? Your thoughts?
Well, you know, they do. They play the Canadian national anthem in Montreal, Toronto, and places like that. Let me say this, Bryce. Kudos to Mark Cuban for even opening up this can of worms. Okay, he's a billionaire. I mean, he can do what he wants to do. I mean,
right.
I'm sure, like John said, it's a policy. But I'm sure if Cuban didn't want to play the national anthem, what are they going to do to him? Fine him?
Right. Find him, and he's got so much money. You can find him as much as you want. But I mean, this whole thing about the national anthem, though. I mean, when you look at the literature and all of the writings and discussion about the national anthem over the years, not just from black activists, but from a lot of writers. You look at Bellamy, I think was his name, that actually wrote the lyrics for the national anthem, or what we know to be the Star Spangled Banner now, and the national anthem. And one of the things that one of the problems with the national anthem is not the language that's necessarily used. Even though I talked at the very beginning about the mention of slaves going to their graves, this was apparently he wrote this while he was witnessing a war or watching a war or something, or he was at Fort Henry. But
I thought it was Francis Scott Key that did the national anthem.
Right. Yeah.
Somebody else?
No, yeah, you may want to read up on it. It's not just that particular man, whoever you just said. I saw that name too. No. There's
he gets credited for it.
Right. Let me look at this comment here. Oh, hold on. Let me go to this comment. They should do both, and the choice to pay homage should be a personal choice. What do y'all think about that? I think that's a good idea.
I agree. If it's a policy, I either think you play both of them or you don't play any of them.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Well, but when you say both of them, then you're excluding all the other nationalities that have national anthem that are on these teams, right?
So then don't play any of them.
So let me just get back to this point. Let me just make this point. From what I read, the problem that a lot of people have with the national anthem, and I think Kaepernick, a lot of people thought that it was all associated with Black Lives Matter, and it really wasn't. Kaepernick had a problem with it because, and the reason he was kneeling was because when you look at the person and the persons, John, that actually wrote the national anthem and perpetuated its use, they were white nationalists. They were racist. They were not inclusive. That national anthem was not inclusive of actually African Americans, just according to the history. It was actually a signal to everybody coming in this country to conform to the white way of America. Now, some of y'all may disagree with me on that, but I'm just telling you that's what history tells us. When you look at all the writings about the national anthem, and that's been the core of the problem, is that why do we pay homage to this thing? Because you associate it with the flag, and because of that, we have to pay homage to it. Remember when we were in elementary school, I pledge allegiance to the flag. I still remember that today. Y'all remember that?
Yes.
Can you repeat it?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You want me to?
Yeah, I want you to.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and justice for all.
Justice for all.
Yeah. I would have said
Now, I'll tell you something about that, Carl, before you go on. That part about one nation under God was also added by, I think, under FDR, when there was the whole communist scare going throughout the world. And he wanted everyone to know that we were a God-fearing nation. So if you go back in time and look, in the original Pledge of Allegiance did not have that phrase in it.
Yeah, what do you think about that comment from Alvin? Allen Iverson, the hip hop. I'm sorry, I got to get these settings right. Hip hop, Iverson hip hop dress style was offensive to white fans, and the NBA implemented a dress code policy. Policy can intercept racism and uncomfortable positions on race, or intercept.
Well, I'll say this, because I was there at the time when all this happened. If you remember, there was a cover with Iverson on it years ago, and they had taken off all the tattoos because they said it was offensive, and they wanted to make him look clean. And he was upset by it. And he said, that's not a picture of me. That's not who I am. Right? And the commissioner, David Stern at the time, God rest his soul, he claimed that he knew nothing about it. I know for a fact that nothing about the NBA got by David Stern without him giving a wink or a nod. So he okayed this.
So the fact that all of us can, each one of us tonight can recite the national anthem because we were taught that way in elementary school, sounds like we drank the Kool-Aid, according to some people.
Hey,
Well, when
Price.
you're a child, you do what you're told to do.
Price, let me ask you a question.
I knew that was going to get a rise from you, Greg, but go right ahead, buddy.
No, what was the stanza you quoted about gay and slaves? What was that stanza?
It was "Darkies Are Gay." That was from the lyrics of "My Kentucky Home," the old version, the original version of "My Kentucky Home." It says, there's a verse in there that talks about, that basically we're going to talk about my Kentucky home. And the sun shines bright on my old Kentucky home. And then it goes off into this stanza where it says, everything is just calm and everything's well. The darkies are gay. Gay is a term for happy, right?
Happy, right.
Until, our society took it over and gave it a different meaning. It was for happy. So that's where that comes from. Anyway, we can talk about this. You will get sent to the office if you refuse. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, but I think Mark Cuban is bringing this discussion back to the forefront. And here's why I think it might be appropriate, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all this, and then we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to get back to let y'all batter me or something. But here's why I think it's appropriate, because I think that there is a lot of American history that has to be reckoned with. It's just not the statues. It's a lot of stuff. It's just not taking down these statues. I think that's just the very beginning. And I think the real test for American and patriotism and the patriotic side of America, whether you're pro-flag or not or anti-flag is how we come out of this discussion about mandatorily playing the national anthem before every sporting event. It's just the policy. It's not the law, right? Except, anyway, that's why I think we'll go with this.
Carl, I agree with you, and I think the fact that we have to say Black history and not just history, which encompasses everything, is not taught in school. It has to be a separate subject, and I have a problem with that. I think that the history of America includes everything about the Africans that came here, our contribution to society, the fact that we were made to feel less important, less than human, and that's in the Constitution, and just how we're viewed as not being a significant contributor to this country. It needs to be changed. There should not be for there to be a separate Black History Month. Shouldn't be. It should be included in the curriculum. Why should we have to learn about the history of Europe? Let's learn the history about this country. Now, I'm not saying that the history of Europe isn't important, but the history of this country, which they are not including in the curriculum, is a problem. And I believe part of the reason is for them to teach what they have to teach, and the truth would mean that they would have to admit they were wrong, and that the deeds that they did were evil, and they don't want to do that. Which is why reparations probably will never happen, because that means that they have to admit everything that they did to us was wrong.
Huh. Interesting. Okay, apparently they like that, John. Hey, Greg, we're seeing a whole different side of John tonight, huh?
Well, I mean, he's just being true to himself.
He just what? There are flags that we have been told to revere the American flag and the Confederate flag, and they both have a bad racial history. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. The U.S. has the worst education on world history. Okay, that's my daughter saying that. Daughter, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Oh, it was so wonderful having you, Tierra, this time. I know you got to leave and go back to California, but it's so hard. It's so wonderful having you. Some point you're going to take the German Shepherds back to California with you. But anyway, listen, guys, we're going to take another quick break, and then on the other side of this break, guess what we're going to do? I'm going to let y'all badger me about our Super Bowl picks, but we're going to talk about the Super Bowl picks. But before we go, I'm going to do this again. Now, if your uncle was bad, what do you think your nephew is going to do if you let your nephew get too close to the media? All right. One thing, listen, what was that song that said, moms, don't let your boys grow up to be cowboys. Don't let your nephews get too close to the media. Check this guy out, and we'll be right back on the other side, back with the panel.
You are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price.
Yeah, and see, that's what the problem was. Because I heard them first. I said, hold on. I said, hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. Because then I start to taste them. I say, and then I start to smell them. So it's like a smell like tastes like other. So I knew something was wrong. I knew something special about it. So
what did you do when you heard the intruder?
I ran upstairs. I had to run. And I had to do what that little girl, what's that little girl in the Holocaust? She had Anne Hathaway, Frank and Beverly. Anne Frank, that's a hiding bitch, ain't it? I had to get up the stairs. So he had so much rhythm. When he was walking up the stairs, he said, doom, doom, doom. Bitch, I started to almost beatbox up in the closet. Oh, boom, boom, boom. But I couldn't do it yet because I couldn't die. I got caught tomorrow. So I'm just a little shook up. That's all that is.
And we are back with more Conscious Fever.
Hey, y'all, listen, hold on, y'all. He said, listen, look, I can't die because I got court tomorrow. Listen, people, don't let your nephews get in front of the damn camera because that may be the end result. What'd you say?
Is he from the West End?
I don't know where he's from, man. He's probably from Knoxville, man.
Nah.
February is Black History Month. 28 days of history of a people that has 400 years of stories to include atrocities that would be too lengthy to mention on this show. Yeah. I'm going to bring you on the show to talk about those atrocities for those who want to hear about them. You know, there's a lot of people who don't like watching the old movies, man. But anyway, let's talk about what happened last week with what do y'all call that thing? The Super Bowl?
Something like that. Some big game.
Yeah.
It was a big game, wasn't it? It was a big game. How did Brady do it?
Price, let me say this. And I'm not here to bash you because I'm really surprised of the margin of victory. But just like Brother John and I said, with Kansas City having 2 offensive linemen out and Tampa Bay, the strength of their defense being the defensive line on the front 7, after about the 3rd series, I knew who was going to win the game. It's like, Price, we're about the same age. It's like the cars we used to drive and they had 6 spark plugs. If you take 2 of those spark plugs out, the car's not going to run that well. That was the same way with Kansas City's offensive line.
Is that what you think? So that's your story. That's your story, and you're sticking to it.
No, John and I both told you that about the offensive line.
We told you that their line was going to be an issue.
Right.
Here's the one thing I want to bring this up.
Well, hold on before you do that, John. I don't want us to.
Part of the show.
Huh?
Now you're gonna take it back?
No. I don't want you. All I want to say is that we're not gonna guess about what was said. I'm gonna take the pie in my face if I need it, but I'm gonna let y'all listen to exactly what y'all said. Check this out. I'm gonna leave that alone, man. I like LeBron. Listen, let's talk about our picks. Let's get to our picks. Let's try to handle the truth and whatever else he said. Greg, we're gonna start with you.
Tampa Bay 38, Kansas City 34.
John, I'm gonna let you go next. I think I know who you're gonna pick. That's why I said that to Mrs. Graves earlier.
Tampa Bay. You want to score?
Not necessarily, unless you want to give us a score, take a chance, because if it's a wager and you're wrong on the score, then you win all the way around anyway.
I'll say it's 30-27, and this may be Brady Swan home.
I'm picking Kansas City. Okay?
That's a surprise.
That's a surprise?
Sarcasm. Dripping with sarcasm.
Do you have a score?
I'm not gonna know. I didn't do a score last time. Keith Hunter says Kansas City 34, Tampa Bay 24. Okay. So I didn't want us to be wrong in any particular way in terms of. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't want us to be wrong at all about what we said. I said Kansas City. So now, John, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I said Tampa 30 and they had 31, but that's another story. What I wanted to say, I thought the real heroes, and I said this on my Facebook page, Todd Bowles and Byron Leftwich. Todd Bowles called a perfect defensive game, they had Mahomes running all night long. Mahomes had a bad toe. He had no line to protect him. And Todd called the perfect defensive strategy. Leftwich had the perfect offense for Steve Spagnuolo's defense, which had beaten Tom Brady twice before in the Super Bowl. And it was just have a running game, quick passes, occasionally go long, but just keep them off balance. And if you had gone back on that tape, I did tell you the best way to keep Kansas City off the field was establish a running game.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, well, but did they do that?
Yeah, they did. Fournette and Jones ran wild on Kansas City's defense. Did you see the 27-yard touchdown run by Fournette? He went up the right side and just kept going. I thought he was going to run to Kentucky to see you, but he stopped.
Hey, Price.
Yes, sir.
I think I predicted 38, and they scored 31. But you remember they had the ball on the 1 yard line twice, so I was that close to getting to 38.
Right. Well, let's just be clear. You also predicted Kansas City would make touchdowns, and they didn't.
Oh, I did.
They scored a touchdown.
And I was surprised. I was surprised by that.
Who would predicted they wouldn't? I mean, really?
I was shocked that they didn't make a touchdown.
I was too, but you could see in that first quarter, man. That front seven, they were dominating, man.
Carl, if you had bet $100 that Kansas City would not have scored a touchdown, you would have made so much money because everybody would have taken that bet.
Including me.
Everybody would have taken the bet?
Oh, yeah. Because nobody thought Kansas City would be shut out from the end zone.
Yeah.
No one.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, I didn't think that would be the case. But in any case, I mean, are we surprised that Mahomes and Kansas City just didn't show up?
I don't think it's a situation where they didn't show up. I think, like John said, Tampa Bay's coordinators had the perfect game plan, and then you throw in the misfortune of that offensive line. Yeah. And Leftwich, give him credit.
Yeah, I see. I see Tammy Cole's comment down there. So, what was going on with Brady at the celebratory parade? Was he drunk, or is that, or somebody tampered with the video?
Why are we getting on that? We're talking about the game. How you celebrate what was different?
No. The only reason hold on, John. The only reason listen, man. If y'all wanna, hang me up and whip me because I lost and y'all can do that. Y'all can do this on this show. But I was just simply responding to this particular comment.
He had a designated driver.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was on the boat. He was having fun. He won number 7 when no one thought that he would. Yeah, I might have gotten drunk myself if people had doubted me.
Well, yeah, Greg, you going out of the photo, man. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you putting all your big nose right up on the camera, man. Everybody can only see your nose, man. I'm sorry.
Let me ask you a question, Price.
Go ahead.
Since Brother John and I were correct, how come we're not hosting the show tonight?
How come y'all are not hosting the show tonight?
Right.
Well, because there are certain things that go on in this studio that I'm not sure if it would be appropriate to really disclose to you all. So I don't. What are you laughing for? I'm not sure if if that's the case, because when they get away,
I knew something was wrong when a little pretty white girl ran into a black man's arms. Something is wrong here. Dead giveaway.
Anyway, no, yeah, I mean,
you
listen.
can host your show.
What'd you say?
You can host your show. I said, you can host the show. It's okay. I'm just one of the guests. Greg and I are just the guests who co-hosting tonight. Oh, yes, I am.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Here's your wifey, man. KC offense line missed their Wheaties. Yes. Sure, I think they missed more than their Wheaties. Let me just keep it real. Let me just keep it real with y'all. That was the most embarrassing Super Bowl I had ever watched. I mean, it really was. It really was. And to you all's credit, and to a credit to a lot of people who were saying, I think Kansas City gonna win, but I ain't betting against Brady. Obviously, you got a man 43 years old, been into the league almost 20 years, and his skill. I mean,
he's the best quarterback to ever step foot on the field.
He truly is now. I said I would say that last week.
He didn't need this win to be the best quarterback. Now, I'm not saying he's the best football player ever. I'm not saying he's the best athlete in any sport. He's just the best quarterback to ever play football.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I don't disagree with you at all. He said Brady took away Hill, a key weapon, and Brady was superb. And Bowles took away. I'm sorry, yeah, Bowles took away.
Yes, I'm telling you, Bowles called the perfect defensive strategy. What he did was he made sure there were 2 men on Hill and 2 men on their tight end. Kelsey. And once you take away those weapons, you're done.
So what could Kansas City have done better to win the game, or was it just all Tampa Bay? I mean, because the Tampa Bay's defense was off the chain. I would give y'all credit for that. But I did say, and I wish I had that clip, I did say that the offensive line that doesn't show up, then the quarterback is going to have a problem. And I think we saw that in this football game.
How convenient you don't have that thing.
Yeah, I know y'all tried to tell me, Greg. You don't keep rubbing it in, man.
No, I'm just saying, man, they had 2 starters out. And it's hard to overcome. It's the reason those 2 guys that were in there are backups.
And the fact that Brady had been there before, he had been doubted before, and the plan that Byron Leftwich called for him, he was able to execute it. And he had his number 1 guy back with him,
Gronkowski. Yeah.
So he could rely on him in tough situations. And Gronk scored 2 touchdowns?
Right. Yeah.
So it was a combination of things. It's sort of like he may never admit this. And I know a lot of people don't like Brady because he's a Trump supporter. I'm not crazy about that, but that's politics. That's something different. But he was challenged. He's sick and tired of hearing about Mahomes being the great one. He's going to dethrone him. And any of us that are athletes or have been athletes, and someone challenges you like that, you step up. You want to beat the champion, you got to beat him, got to knock him out. You want to be the champion, you got to beat the champion. And Mahomes didn't do it. Now, the other thing, I just want to say this, and I'm going to let Greg jump in here, because this is partly his show too. Now, everyone's talking about Brady retiring, and he's too old and he's had enough. Let the man play until he's finished. He'll know when he's ready to go. As it stands now, as long as he has his weapons, as long as he's protected, let him play.
Yeah, Brady removed all distractions before the game. He placed his family in a hotel for 10 days prior to the game. When you go to a stage that large, you have to prepare at all levels to win. Agree or disagree, y'all?
Agree.
I agree.
So I'm going to place an order.
He knew exactly what he had to do to win.
Yeah. I'm going to place an order for y'all since y'all won. Y'all like soul food, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'd like some ham hocks and lima beans.
We're gonna get y'all some ham hocks and lima beans for picking the Tampa Bay. I'm still listen. I don't know how Brady did it, other than the fact that Brady is just all around. I mean, he's just the man. Brady's the one.
He's good. Just admit it. He's the best quarterback ever.
Oh, I will. I mean, I give it to him. I give him all the kudos, all the accolades, because, and I told y'all last week that if Brady pulled this one off, I was going to say he was the GOAT, and I agreed. Now he is the GOAT. I had some questions before this game because I really thought Mahomes, the young boy, was going to step up, but that was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. I mean, and then, of course, Tyreek Hill said, there's always next year. Yeah, there's always next year, but
it's so hard to get back.
It is so hard to get back. It is so hard to get back. Really hard to get back.
I'll just say this other point. They are making Mahomes to be the next great quarterback because he got there 2 years in a row. But what a lot of people have forgotten, they said the same thing about Dan Marino. And how many times did he get there? Once. And he lost. And he never made it back to the Super Bowl. So even getting there the second time, as Mahomes has showed you, is no guarantee that you're going to win just because you were good. Look at the Buffalo Bills back in the 90s. They got there 4 years in a row. And who beat them? Washington, the Giants, and Dallas twice. So it's no guarantee that you're going to be the quarterback winning 5-6 Super Bowls in a row, even if your team gets there. It is so hard to repeat. And who was the last thing to repeat?
Of course, it was Tom Brady.
Thank you.
It was Tom Brady. I mean, it was Tom Brady. I'm not going to. I mean, listen, I'm going to give Tom Brady the accolades. I don't care too much for him as a person. I think he's but I think he's an awesome athlete. And I think he, anytime, just think about this. He left the New England Patriots and the first year goes to Tampa Bay and takes them to the Super Bowl. How can you deny a man like that?
With no training camp, no preseason games. He had to learn the offensive schemes. He had to learn his receivers. They had to learn him. He had to learn what his offensive line could and couldn't do, about how long they could hold him. And when they got themselves together after a bad November, they won what? 8 games in a row. The 3 games before the Super Bowl were on the road. So, I mean, come on, give it to him.
He's got it. He's got it. I'm not going to take anything from him. I just believe that Kansas City just didn't show up, man. I mean, they just didn't show up. Not the Kansas City that we were expecting. And I hate that for Mahomes, because I think this was probably the best year that they could really go back to back. I mean, obviously this was the only year they could go back to back, right? It's not like they can go back to back next year, but the point is that it's tough to get there. It's tough to get there. And you know what happens after every season? It happens more in the NBA than it does in the NFL. But the chess pieces start to change, right? Mm-hmm. Trading and drafting and so, and what's that?
And you get a little older. The aches and pains that you had start to pile up a little bit more, and it's different. A pass that you caught, you dropped, and a lot of things have to go your way for you to get back to the dance and win it.
Yeah.
In any sport.
Yeah.
Football, baseball, basketball, hockey, there have to be a lot of things to break just right for you to make it back and win it.
Yeah.
One of the most important things that Brady did that people don't talk about is, with all his greatness,
I'm sorry,
all his greatness, all his experience, he allowed Byron Leftwich to coach him. Think about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Interesting. Here's your question, John. Will you give this much? I guess the question is to me. Will you give this much time when LeBron win wins it this year?
Oh, the question is to me, I guess.
The question is the Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price.
You think that's the question to me?
Well,
Yes, to you.
here's the thing about LeBron. Okay, he's a good basketball player. He's not on the level of Michael Jordan, despite what people say, simply because he's hopping from team to team and begging players to come to win a ring. The great ones don't do that. Michael didn't do it. Isaiah didn't do it. Kareem didn't. Magic didn't do it. Bird did. I just have a problem with Ron being considered in the same atmosphere as Jordan. Now, off the court, what he's done for kids in school, I give him praise and applaud. I think that's outstanding. But on the court, no, I don't put him in the same area as Jordan.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. And you agree with that, Han Greg? I'm assuming.
Well, I don't like comparing players from different eras, okay? He's right in that LeBron advocated and brought, guys with him, started in Miami. But that's the trend that's going on in the NBA right now. Is he in the same category as Jordan? I don't know.
Interesting.
Price, let me ask you one question.
Go ahead.
I was looking at my phone and I got a text message from one Danny Carruthers.
I'm sorry, when I do that, for some reason I cut you guys off, and I apologize for that. Hold on, let me go back. Greg, I want you to continue to say that again. Go ahead, Greg. Okay. This is me, y'all. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. Hold on, Greg.
We need DJ Ice.
What'd you say? What did he just say?
He said we
I said,
need
man,
DJ Ice.
we need DJ Ice.
Yeah, we probably do. I don't know how I can get back to the main screen, but in any case, I was trying to get us all back together, and I screwed something up. So, but in any case,
I don't know, Tammy.
No, Danny Carruthers.
What did Danny? Yeah, I saw Danny make a comment. What did Danny say this time?
He just said he loved me and you, man, and I just wanted to say you give a shout out to Danny, man, because he was always good to me on the hill.
He was what? He was good to you on the hill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was your roommate, right?
Huh?
Was he your roommate?
He was my roommate, my friend. He was my roommate. Yeah. Okay. So in any case, I got to end this show, and I knew I was going to take this beating. I didn't have a problem with taking this beating, but I'm not going to let y'all, because it's a little bit after 10 now. I'm not going to let y'all keep me away from an appointment that I have here later. So
I just want to say one thing. Before we go. Shout out to my cousin Reggie Alexander, who is very sick. He's having heart issues. He's waiting for a heart, and he said if he was going to stay awake, he would tune into the show. So I think the family is listening if he's not, but if he is, this is for you, Reggie. Everybody's praying for you.
Yeah, absolutely. That was, give it up for Reggie. Yeah, we actually, prayers are always appropriate. You were about to say something, Greg.
No, I was just saying that absolutely what John said.
Yeah. Well, listen, guys, I appreciate you guys stopping by tonight, as always. Obviously, I want to say to everybody out there, happy Valentine's Day. You all want to wish anybody happy Valentine's Day? The Valentine's Day is this weekend. I'm in the middle of this, so you're one on this side, one on this side, and one on that side. And I'm the single guy. So if your wives are watching,
right?
Would you say?
When you gonna get married, man? You almost 60, right?
Yeah, I think that it probably may not happen. I think you're asking a rhetorical question.
Well, while you two go into that, I just want to say happy Valentine's Day to my lovely wife, Cheryl. And thank you for listening and supporting me on this show and dealing with the host. But, I don't have to do anything special for her on one day because I try to do the right thing every day. This is my Valentine every day, not just the 14th of February.
Okay, that was nice, John. That was nice. I'm sure Cheryl appreciates that. Greg?
Well, I want to wish my wife a happy Valentine's Day. Of course, she knows I'm going to be on the show, but she goes to bed about 9 o'clock. So, hey.
So she's in bed?
Hey, every time
I didn't think she was going to let you come on the show tonight, Greg. I thought for a moment there you were, because when people in the studio were sending you the link and stuff, we were not getting a response, and we was just like, okay, what's up with Greg? Last week you told us she was just like, you keeping her up, I was keeping y'all up too late, so I'm just.
Look, man, I'm like being Cartwright.
How you gonna take us back to being Cartwright?
My house is the Ponderosa. Okay, that's all you need to know about that.
Woo! Your house is the Ponderosa. Okay, I got you, man. That's another way to put it. But anyway, I want to thank y'all for joining me tonight. Applause and cheers for Greg and John. One more time, please. And of course, we have to do this again. We have to do this again. We're gonna come up with some other topics, but this is February. This is look at that. I'm gonna post that. This is thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl, for always watching us. But listen, this is February. We have to talk about love. And before the month is out, we're going to talk about love, and then we're going to get a little bit deep into some Black history. We want to talk about the national anthem in a whole different angle tonight. So stay tuned for that. But anyway, guys, any last words? If y'all want to take the last swipe at me for picking the Kansas City Chiefs, you go right ahead. But remember, there's always next year, as Tyreek Hill said. So go right ahead.
I just want to say you guys stay safe, man. And take care of yourself, and John, you continue to depart your wisdom on the host of this show.
I'll try, man.
Anyway, y'all, listen.
And my last thing is, this is also Black History Month. You notice my shirt is the Black Barons. It's from the Birmingham Black Barons of the Negro Leagues, and I'm wearing this shirt as part of awareness for the great players that were in the Negro Leagues. And this was one of the teams that came into the league in 1923.
Okay, got you. Well, people, y'all were just listening to the boy from New York City, and the young man from Knoxville, Tennessee, Danny Carruthers, huh? Danny Carruthers. Here we go. There we go. John, love the shirt.
Thank you. You can come to my page. I can tell you how to get it. There's a young lady who's in charge of it. The website is Black Before You.
Okay.
I'll put it on my page. Her name is Kimmy. and she sells merchandise, and it's very, very good. I have 2 shirts. It's I will definitely make a link aware.
Okay, great.
Kimberly Green is her name.
Okay, great. Promoting. Anyway, Greg, I'm gonna let you get to your wife. Listen, guys, thanks for joining us.
She sleep now.
She sleep now. All right. One more round of applause for Greg and John. Take care tonight. Thank you guys once again for joining us tonight. All right.
Stay safe, man. Be up.
All right, people. Uh-oh, I got stuff going on here. Let me just try to get this back right. Get y'all back to me. I have no idea how I'm going to do that, but this is just what happens when you're okay. Let me see if I can do something here. Get myself completely back into the game here. I'm still not doing it. Anyway, now how about I do it that way? All right, listen, guys. Everybody out there, thanks for joining us again. John, another round of applause for John and Greg for joining us tonight, talking about the national anthem, as well as talking about the Super Bowl and the fact that I was wrong in my pick for the Super Bowl. Of course, you've been listening to Conscious Fever on Ice Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio. Until next week, I am Carl Price. I will see you then.
You are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price on 97thebeatfm.com.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh yes it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh yes it is. Then I go to my brother. And I say, brother, help me please. But he wind up knocking